Hello, I'm Super Orange Cat here. I'm today covering Toonami's ratings from June 27th, 2020. Let's start at the top of the block. My Hero Academia was at a .22 this week. Paranoia Agent at a .17, Mob Psycho 100 Season 1 at a .16, Black Clover at a .12, Naruto Shippuden at a .12, Ballmastrz is unknown, and for some weird reason we're still getting Jumaseto Machu Picchu's numbers, which was a .08. Overall, this was a big step down once again for the block. We've had this weird 2-3 week period beforehand where the ratings were actually doing kind of pretty well. And it appears that reality has just struck us back once again. And let's start with the top of the block here. My Hero Academia being the biggest letdown of the night. The Season 4 finale only gets a .22. This was a drop of 500s from the previous week's episode. And I mean, that's just a bad way to end things for the season there. With My Hero Academia having for the last I'll say the last like half year, I don't know. Time passes weirdly this year for me, so I have no idea. Like half year or so, it's been My Hero Academia that's been the the breadwinner for the block, more or less the head honcho, the show that's had to bring in the ratings, and for the most part, it did a pretty decent job of that. However, towards the end here, especially with all the forced reruns, things got a little shaky for the show. And it shows here with a .22 to end. I think it is like third lowest the third lowest intro ratings for a block in Toonami history. Once Dragon Ball Super and once My Hero Academia actually got .20 flats. And those are still the record for the lowest for non-marathon weeks. And after that, you got a Paranoia Agent. And something someone pointed out, I think in my comment section for his Twitter, I don't remember, said that they would expect Paranoia Agent's ratings to remain flat, like not change either direction, because the people who are watching now are committed for the long haul. And relatively speaking, that's shown to be true. It only dropped to 100s, far smaller drop than My Hero Academia, especially considering that one of the bigger issues the block has had lately was the big drop in ratings between My Hero Academia and whatever followed it. And there was a bit of a less of a drop this week, admittedly mostly because of how much My Hero Academia dropped as the lead-in, but at the same time, I mean, it was just a small drop for Paranoia Agent, and it relatively fared not that bad at a .17. Albeit when it was brought to the block, I think they're expecting it to be consistently over a .2. So with that in mind, it's Paranoia Agent in general is kind of been a disappointment with regards to ratings. After that, you had Mob Psycho 100 Season 1, only dropping 100 to a .16. Retains almost all the audience from Paranoia Agent. So really, it just did what it could right there. And ultimately, yes, it dropped less than any other show did this week. Unless Ballmastrz, whenever that number comes out, shows that they've actually didn't, like, unless that magically like didn't drop or some weird thing. Ballmastrz has been weird with regards to ratings. Actually built on Black Clover last week with when the full ratings got released a few days ago. And that's just weird to me. I mean, Ballmastrz has actually bizarrely found a weird way to actually exceed expectations on the block so far, which means that considering that Toonami is going to inevitably be in a pinch in a few weeks when you have Paranoia Agent and Mob Psycho Season 1 ends, they might just decide to put in which Adult Swim show is the closest to an anime. Play that game, which would be interesting to see. But back to the ratings, Black Clover, a bit of a disappointing week, drops 400s to at .12, one of the lowest ratings that Black Clover's ever gotten block. Admittedly, you can say that for nearly everything this week, but considering that it's one of the newest, it's the second most new episode, considering that it's the only one other than My Hero Academia which hadn't aired on TV yet. Okay, Naruto Shippuden also technically didn't air on TV, but no one counts that as a new show anymore. And then you have Shippuden, .12, again, mainstay at the end of the block. Ballmastrz, which is before at 2 o'clock, we don't have numbers for yet, probably won't for a few days, but I speculate it is probably a .12. If anything, it would fluctuate 1/100th from there, so it's probably between .11 or .13. Considering how it's actually bizarrely exceeded expectations, wouldn't be too surprised if it's actually at a .13 this week. But again, that's just weird things with Toonami so far, you know. And next week, it will be a marathon of Dragon Ball Super. And I believe they're starting with episode 60 or 60 something. They're starting in the middle of the show. They're not starting at the beginning of the show. And it coincides with a specific arc. I don't remember which arc that was. But whatever arc was around that time, I think is what they're going to air the marathon on. And from that week on, the block will lead off with Dragon Ball Super again. So, like I said, we've come full circle. It's like it never left us. And it'll be interesting to see what the ratings for this marathon are and what ratings it picks up as a lead-in again. Because some people will be like, well, it'll pull in the point 3 something you used to always get because it's Dragon Ball Super. But yet again, these are all going to be reruns at this point. Every single episode of Dragon Ball Super has aired on Toonami. And quite a few of these also aired on like the 8 p.m. slot on Saturday nights before Toonami. It'll be interesting to see how much of a draw those episodes will actually be. And other than that, I mean, and you also have some shows ending soon, like you have Mob Psycho ends in like 4 weeks. Not Black Clover. You have Paranoia Agent ends in like 4 weeks. And 3, 4, 5-ish weeks, both of those shows end. Black Clover. Funimation is dubbing it again, but we're gonna approach the end of the dubs pretty soon. I think we're like 2, 3 weeks right now of new episodes left. So probably another decision's gonna have to be made there. And I mean, in Ballmastrz, I think they only have enough material for like 3, 4 more weeks as well. And it's kind of assumed that with Ballmastrz, at the end of it, it's going to be announced, okay, we got episodes of JoJo dubbed again. And that's, I think, what people are expecting. And again, it's going to be interesting to see what Toonami does. Like I mentioned, with Ballmastrz being somewhat successful, do not be surprised if they look into like Adult Swim shows. So not like anime that Adult Swim the rights to, but Adult Swim shows that have anime-like elements, and they decide to put them in. So it's not going to be anything like a Robot Chicken or China Illinois. Remember that show, China Illinois? I really loved that show back in the day. Or anything like that. I'm just saying. I'm gonna say there is a non-zero, albeit low chance that they're gonna try to push Rick and Morty as a Toonami show. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Well, again, what do you guys think? Which shows do you think are up the pipeline for Toonami? Do you think we'll get that announcement soon about when Uzumaki is going to be ready or Blade Runner Black Lotus is going to be ready? Leave your opinions, leave your comments down below. I love reading them. If you like this, if you want more Toonami news content like this, please like, please subscribe, and hit that notification button. I am Super Orange Cat, and that is all.